And welcome to another episode of O Faces. I am your host, Mr.Mocha. We are on the cutting board. Keep music going, keep music going. And this is a unique episode because today I'm getting called out. I'm getting challenged for some things that I've said in a previous podcast. And I got Double D Vixen and Jay here. Double D and I, we started out with a pretty much barroom brawl downstairs. We were throwing chairs at each other. She tried to body slam me, so we decided we were going to save it for the podcast. All seriousness, we are at Splash Mocha Houston 2024. We're recording this with some guests hanging out with us. This is an exciting podcast to me personally because everybody who knows me know that I say what's on my mind and I don't filter it. I'm a firm believer that the world is too filtered, so I'm not going to filter it. I'm going to speak my truth. But I also believe that if you go onto a public forum and speak your truth, you should be challenged. And because I'm so loud and outgoing, oftentimes people don't challenge me, they just whisper about it. Now, I want to start off on how I met Double D Vixen and Jay. So I met Jay first. I was at the desk, and Jay walked in. I wasn't aware that I had already spoken to, they're a couple. I hadn't spoken to Double D Vixen. I didn't know I had spoken to her before. Jay walks into Mocha, and I will give a guy a hard time who I know is confident. Jay's a good-looking guy. He walks in, so I see him back straight, eye contact. So I, like I do with all the other guys who I know could take it, I just set right in on him. So we're at the front desk, bantering back and forth. His wife walks in. He says, "Oh, you're Mr. Mocha." Didn't you say?
Yeah, that's exactly.
So he shook my hand, and his wife comes in, she shakes my hand, then she hugs Goliath. All right? So I'm still kind of going back and forth with, I'm still kind of giving him a hard time. So we fast forward, I see him later on that night. I go out, and this guy, all right, he came in looking like a good-looking guy. I walk over, the guy looks like a fucking rock star. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This guy here's trying to, save some pussy for the rest of us. So I'm giving him a hard time because he looks good. He had the cowboy hat on, got his hair done. He had the nappy beard when he first came in. Now he done combed his beard out, I see him.
Clean up well.
Yeah, and I saw him, so I knew he was gonna be somebody my wife would like. So she randomly comes up, and I see her look at him. I'm like, okay. So now I'm talking to them, and his wife, Double D Vixen, is standing next to him, not really saying anything to him. Not saying much, but she's standing there. Now, me being me, I am not sharp enough to know when I'm being snubbed. And the one thing I liked about her is she realized I didn't realize, and she let me know you're being snubbed. Now, the question is, Double D Vixen, why was I snubbed?
Do you want me to say what I told him on the way here?
Let me have it.
I said, Mr. Mocha thinks he's gonna get it, and he ain't gonna get it.
Get what?
Get pussy. Get my pussy.
Mr. Mocha can dream. Okay. Let's get that straight.
So
Mr. Mocha is hoping.
This
The
was
reason
beforehand.
I
This was
said
beforehand.
that is because of how you were when it was so.
Tell me the story.
Yeah.
So I wasn't intending on being on your podcast. I didn't know that it was going to be a podcast episode. I happened to be on Twitter one night, and I saw that it was like a live, Twitter space?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just tuned in, and you had, I think, 2 guys on there. You guys were talking about Splash and being a single guy and the lifestyle and Splash and just all the different dynamics with couples, and it was their perspective as single men in the lifestyle and attending Splash. So once you guys started talking about Splash, so I can't remember the comment that was made, but there was something about couples, and most of the talk was about, being respectful and then approaching the husbands, and, usually it's the husbands going out to the single guys and saying, hey, my wife's interested in you. So I can't remember what it was you said, but it got to the point in the podcast where you were like, hey, if anyone wants to chime in or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I do. So I said our experience at the 2022 Houston Splash, and I said, yeah, we went in, had day passes, like all day passes, and walk in trying to smile, like, you know, we didn't know there was a whole thing, right? And we're a stag vixen couple, and so we knew that a lot of the couples, there's a high volume of cut couples here, and that's just not our dynamic. But we still wanted to go in, you know, open mind and look approachable, and no one was talking to us, like nobody. And I kind of started to get a little insecure. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, do we look like assholes? Like, are we being antisocial? Like, and a couple guys came up to us, introduced themselves, and I guess they're like veterans, you know, had been coming to Splash for a minute. Cool. And they kind of, they told us like the whole dynamic that's typically, you know, this is the guys aren't trying to snub you, they want to be respectful, you know. And so we were like, yeah, we appreciate that. So I'm telling you about this on this podcast and our experience. So then you go on this whole tangent about, you know, it's husband and blah, 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 the whole respect thing. And you said, I'm not trying to be, I can't remember exactly how you phrased it, but it was something along the lines of, I'm not trying to be rude, but this is on your husband. I blame your husband. He should have been approaching the guys. And you kind of went on a little tangent there, and I said, oh no.
She took this shit personal.
I did. I took it personal. I was like, no.
I laughed at it. She took it personal. But she's protective of me, man. So
yeah. And
can I pause you here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So she's saying it, and I think I have to, full disclosure, all right? I am very direct, and I tend to be brusque oftentimes. So
me too.
Yes. And so I say this all the time. Depending upon the husband, I always say, me and Mike C, this is our ongoing debate. Our ongoing debate is, Mike C's always said is more of the guy's responsibility, and I've always said it was the husband's responsibility. Especially, Jay, stand up for me, please. Stand up, thank you. All right. Especially when the husband looks like this guy. Okay? And when I say that for listeners to understand, Jay is a big guy. He's an attractive guy. And when you look at him, he's intimidating.
I don't see that.
You don't have to see it. But you do see it. Because when I was talking, me and his wife were having this conversation, and he was standing watching. And it reminded me, there's this meme where there's this mother cat and there's a kitten. And you can tell they live in the house with this pit bull, and the mom is introducing the pit bull to the kitten. But the entire time the kitten is playing with the pit bull, the mom is staring at the pit bull, making sure he doesn't give her a reason to attack it. Now, the whole time her and I having a debate, he was very friendly, but the entire time his eyes and his body was pointed at me to make sure that I didn't go too far. He knew that she probably would, but because she's a kitten, she's gonna paw at the pit bull. She doesn't know it can eat her. But he knew it could eat her, and he was ready to attack the pit bull. That, my friend, is what a man is supposed to do. But that same mentality, behavior, body language, stance makes other guys nervous to approach. So, from my standpoint, being the same guy who, you remember my first year here, Mr. East Coast, remember my first year here, when everybody's like, dude, fucking smile. And I'm like, what am I supposed to walk around like a happy idiot? Yeah.
I feel like that too. I feel like that.
Our thing is.
Wait,
like,
say it again. Say it again.
I feel like that too. And
we don't want to kiss
your
ass.
Your wife calls it resting dick face. I got resting dick face.
I apparently have resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Hey, he's right because I seen y'all last night, and this is my first year at Splash, and I was like, oh wow, she looks amazing, and I literally took 2 steps forward, looked at you, and then went somewhere else.
Okay, so now, hold on. He didn't even know
And that's
what
on
this.
you.
No, it's not.
Yes,
No,
it
it's not.
is.
So hold
Because
on.
if you like people, and you can interject, he's had no problem talking to us.
But now, go
Real
ahead,
quick.
Socrates.
Socrates.
Interject,
Yeah.
please.
So here's the thing: what you don't know, you are cool. You can feel that energy, but there has been some guys. What we don't know as bulls, are you the couple that's like, I'm here, but I really don't know if I want to be here. I'm really not sure what's gonna go happen. So I'm gonna take this. I'm here because my wife really wants to be here, but I don't want none of y'all motherfuckers to come around my wife.
That's
Stance. And we can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
That's where there is. That's where I agree with him on the man's responsibility to let you know I'm open. Your muscles will show them. Okay, if you do anything, is a problem. That's going to show it. You going up to someone and letting them know I'm not one of those husbands.
Right.
Because there are. I've approached a couple of husbands, and I just felt like the dude was sticking his chest out a little bit,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, brother, I'm not trying to put her in a headlock. You know?
Yeah.
So this is what we're discussing. We're not talking about the other side. These gentlemen know how to approach.
Right.
I know, like you say, oh, you're so comfortable. Well, because I've been through that, and I'm fine with she's here, but she's not here.
Right.
That's what you got to take into consideration.
We
I just
didn't
wanna
know
put
that there. So what the guys that we ended up meeting when we were here in 2022, they were telling us. They said, "Listen, we thought that you were a guy that apparently there is a kink that it's kind of like a showing the wife off. It's like, hey, they get off on like I want to show my wife off, but I don't want anyone to touch her.
Yes.
That's what and we didn't know that was a kink. We didn't know that was a thing.
Well, it's not really a kink. It's called insecurity. What
Well,
happens
Why would
is-
you come to an
Why-
event? My question was like, bro, why would you come to this event? You spend all this fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
But you're being logical.
Yeah, I mean that's.
So you're being logical,
Yeah.
which is I was being logical, but here's the thing. I'll say this. She was offended. He wasn't. As soon as I explained it to him, he was like, because the way it was explained to me was the same way. It wasn't gentle. It was big ass Dimitri walking up, putting his meat hook on my shoulder, like, hey, stop looking like fucking security. You're scaring men away from your wife. Oh, that makes sense. We went back and forth, and I enjoyed the conversation because it's very difficult to change my mind. She was able to change my mind in the conversation, not about me thinking it's his responsibility to go out because you're a scary looking dude and you have a good looking wife, and people just ain't gonna want to walk up to you because there's a good looking wife with a guy who's not scary looking. Okay, and then also a lot of these guys, and this is something that I had to learn with Mrs.Mocha, where she's told me, hey, my wife likes threesomes. But it got to a point where I had to stop because a lot of guys are more comfortable sexually with the guy who they feel superior to. So you don't give off inferior vibes. So now that means you got some guy who wants to be in a room having sex with a woman where he feels like he's got one up on the husband. And you're looking like that. You're looking like a fucking... You looking like a predator, like you got a lion sitting in the room staring at you. Unless you're in a room with another lion, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So now these guys are looking, and unfortunately for us, I go around, and when I was standing there with you, I'm a clown.
Right.
I'm a clown for a reason with my friends because then they feel safe. But unfortunately, I had to go out there, and Dimitri pushed me a lot. Hey man, go talk to these guys. And now my wife is dirty. Like she want dick. She's.
Oh wow.
Is that your vagina?
No, I never show my.
That was vag, wasn't it?
No, that was my leg.
More vag.
Leg.
You're such a pervert. So that was so. But the thing that I would say, her and I going back and forth, I attacked her like I would attack Mike C when we have this conversation. And her thing was basically, I told you I was new. Learn how to fucking talk to new people.
I was like, wow.
You stood your ground.
And that's when I tapped out.
She stood her ground.
Oh, you.
Oh, I will
I
every
was
day.
there because originally I was talking to them. I was talking to them originally, and then he came over, and she.
Yeah.
She went, and I had to
Start
you
throwing
could see
punches.
Me, you could
I
see
had
me
bone
just kind of
pick.
like.
So what you saying? You could have ended the whole thing by saying stop clock.
Oh, nah. Nah.
She wasn't
Nah.
hearing shot
Stop
clock.
clock.
Nah.
She wasn't hearing shot clock. She went in, and she was like on the attack.
So tell me what I should have done.
I will say this. So, you had struck me in the conversation when I was on the Twitter Space podcast thing. You struck me as, I got off of that call, whatever, as I was like, this is a cocky motherfucker who is used to having women fawn all over him, like, oh my God, he's so sexy. Like,
I want more fawning ones.
and they are just like throwing the pussy at him like all day, every day. And I'm like, please. Like, that's how I don't like cocky guys. I like,
You got a cocky guy.
he is
No, he's
quiet,
not.
confident. Like,
he's cool because
Yeah.
we had chatted before we came, so I knew he was a cool dude.
Right.
You know, I had seen
we
him
are
at
the
that
most
point.
unserious, like, we love all genres of comedy. Like, we love stupid, like Will Ferrell, SNL, you know.
Just
I think you should,
goofball
yeah,
shit.
goofball. Like, he is the biggest. If you can make me laugh, you're in. Like, if you can banter back and forth, talk a little shit, like,
Yeah.
you're good with me.
You get frustrated
You're
about
good
that
people.
sometimes because my wit will. You're like.
So fucking quick-witted, and I'm like in the shower. I'm like, yeah, I should have said that shit.
That's me with my wife, literally.
It hits me after the fact, like, and he can just pop it off.
I wake up.
But
Yeah.
you said that's from being in high. You said that's from being in high school. Y'all would have to like
Yeah,
check
just
each
going
other,
back and
like.
forth, dude. Yeah.
And I'm not that like. I come back with something, but then I'll take it to the next level. So when I come back, I'm like going for your core, and he's
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
God
God
damn,
damn.
like.
I was just joking.
Yeah, like, so I go 0 to 60, like, unintentionally.
Oh yeah, she came in all guns blazing. She let me know that she thought I was arrogant. She thought I was cocky.
Are you not used to having women throw
Wait,
pussy at
let me
you?
raise my hand.
Oh, white.
Yes. Your wife would know best.
He is definitely very arrogant.
Ah!
Wait,
She
when
just,
I met
thank
him,
you.
But he's arrogant on the outer core. Once he gets, that's like him on the podcast. That's him like if he's in a like professional world, he comes off as very arrogant. That's how I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks after we met because I was like I liked his dick, but he was really arrogant, and I don't know if I could deal with that. But the more like you get to know him, the better he is about.
Same.
He's just not. I'm friendly from the get go. I'll be unfriendly if I decide I don't like you, but I'm friendly from the get go. He's not unfriendly. He's just more guarded, if that makes sense. He's like,
100%.
we're
Yeah.
here. We're professional. I don't know where your headspace is. I don't know where my headspace is. But I've had to tell him, Demetrius had to tell him, several other people, like, dude, stop walking around like a security guard. Because if he smiles, he looks kind of friendly.
Yes.
If
Yes.
I-
Smile, look at
Yes. Yes.
If I met him at a
You can't say that to me, cause you do the same thing. This fucking guy. He was like, "Yeah, it's a great smile." As I walk up to him, like,
That's how he was last.
"Yeah, I know." That's why you turned
I
around.
can't remember if he had his arms crossed or if
He
but
called it,
either way-
you said resting dick face.
I do notice the
Yeah.
arms cross
Yeah.
things, and then I won't cross.
Okay,
them.
so I'm not.
But
Yeah.
that's how I
Because
think
I
I come
promise you,
off
he
like,
was
I don't know. I'm like, I'm the
I was
biggest
having a good time, I
empath.
promise.
I looked
Like,
at you. I looked at her,
I'm
I
a
was like,
people
oh, wow.
pleaser. Like, I'm just
Okay.
naturally, like, I want to make sure everyone in the room is, like, comfortable. Everyone.
Look at you,
I would
like-
never want someone to feel, like, humiliated or
This shit
uncomfortable.
ain't working.
And, but if I'm just like, he jokes all the time. Like, I'll just be reading because I need to put my glasses on. I'm like reading something on the phone. I'm looking like this. He's like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just reading some. He said, it looks like you're like reading the worst news ever.
You look crazy. as
So
hell.
is it something that, I mean, because during the conversation, I was like, yeah, I mean, he got a point, you know, I mean, and again, I knew you, but we had talked a little bit before then too.
Right,
I
right,
met
right.
you during check-in, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, how you guys doing? You know, we talked on Telegram before, but is it something that possibly could be.
Just read your shirt, sorry.
I did too.
I know. Yeah.
My head down.
I just read his shirt.
And we fell laughing at the same time. I had my head down. I didn't want to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
Is this something that could possibly be true, but you haven't noticed it because you live with him. You're with him all the time, so you see that other side that people here don't see from him.
I will
that's
say yes.
true.
I can understand it to a point because when we first met, he had been Mr. Bachelor, like having girls throw themselves at buy him stuff, like show up, bring him food. He'd be like, "Thank you."
So I got punished for his behavior.
Right.
She projected his
And
bullshit on me.
We were complete strangers when we met. Like we had no mutual friends. Like he literally walked up to me at a bar. So when I found out from from my friend, she had some coworkers that a few of the girls knew him, and they were like, "Hey, tell your friend, be careful. He gets around, like he gets around. He's used to having women, fawn all over him." As soon as I found that out, I was like,
But you told
like,
me you never denied it.
But you also said, you were like, if you had been a yes woman,
Oh, for sure.
I
yeah,
wouldn't have.
Yeah. No, you weren't.
I saw him as a rebound. I was like, look,
She did.
I had just broke up with a guy a few weeks before he walked up to me. I was like, dude, he's fine as fuck. I just want to fuck him. Like, and he was the one that was like, hey, I really like you. I want to like take it slow. And I was like,
Definitely, bro. It was the we had great conversations,
Yeah.
smart fucking conversations.
yeah.
You were a deep thinker.
So I knew that he was used to having girls throw themselves at him, and I was like, I like what you said yesterday. You said that you're stubborn. I was like, yep. I felt that. Like, got it. But
And
that's
I
how.
felt he was a challenge also.
Yeah.
I liked, and then again, rebound. I was still fucking married when I met him. I mean, like, I was
They were
separated.
separated. They were
Right.
separated.
But I was not, like, legally divorced.
No, there's not. Wait, hold on. I said that wrong. Not that I wouldn't have still fucked her if she was. I don't want you guys to think that I was trying to claim decent because I still would have. However, in that she was separated at the time.
But same, I like literally just wanted some dick. And
Hell
like
yeah,
some,
girl.
He would give me, I called him my vacation because there was one day a week I was his Monday chick, he was my Monday dick. It was the only day of the week
Hell
we didn't
yeah.
have our kids.
Hell yeah.
So I would go to his house and it felt like vacation. He listened to me, he responded like well to me, and I was, in my mind it couldn't be real. You got good dick, you're really nice, but when I met you didn't seem really nice. You were kind of scary, but you had a good dick. We all circled back around to the dick a few times before I was like, okay, maybe he's like a really good dude.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. That's the thing is like if you come off as cocky, I feel like you're overcompensating for something,
You got a small penis.
and then you find out. Not that.
Let's see it.
But I feel like
Open your legs.
at the end of the day, I'm like, my goal, because I have all brothers, I'm the youngest and I'm the only girl. So I'm used to like ready to fight, like let's go.
She was, yeah, she was.
Like,
She was ready.
She was, yeah.
so if I see that you're coming off as you think you're the shit and your shit doesn't stink, I'm like, no, you're a bully and I fucking hate bullies. So I'm gonna break you down, like I'm gonna cut to your core because I'll give it right back to you.
And I'm sitting there like,
But I
oh,
find
shit.
out that guys that are like that, they're the most sensitive motherfuckers. Like
I think
truly
there's-
at their core.
there's-
Oh yeah.
Very
Yeah.
sensitive. Very sensitive.
There's a question to you, Mr. Mocha. I just thought what you just said. So, being like somebody new into the Splash, how would like single guys in the Splash really approach a couple if they feel intimidated? Is it just something you just gotta get over, or is it, how does that even work? You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I seen y'all last night, and girl, you like amazing. I was like, well, damn, I would dick her down.
Yeah, I mean, I told her that, but she didn't believe me. But I told her that today. I didn't tell her yesterday.
Well, we gotta when we get to it. We had
Yeah.
my experience last night.
So this is what I will say to you, and this is because I know that I intimidate people. Reserve Stag, Mr. East Coast, Jay, I look at a guy, I look him in his eyes, I feel that he's strong, and then I engage him. Because I have created a circle of guys around me because if you ever met my sisters are fucking savages. Like my sisters, like we talk to each other. Like my wife, the first time she heard me and my sister talk, she's like, "What is wrong with y'all?" There's no filters. You know, instead of having.
I say what's wrong with y'all.
Yeah.
The first time I heard it be a little bit of hood, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, what happened to my professional husband?
Yeah.
That went out the window.
We and my friends, we instead of speaking 100 words, we speak directly. I can speak direct to my friend if you know that there's no bad intentions behind it. So when I see a guy, I didn't know none of the situation when I first met him, and automatically I was talking to him like I knew him. But then there are guys who come in, and I look in their face, I look in their eyes, and I feel like they're more gentle. So I tone myself way down. I tone myself down, I tone my personality down, because the one thing, I never want someone to be afraid of me. I don't get off on someone being afraid of me. You know, that does nothing for me. My wife?
I like being afraid of you.
You should. But so all of my guys, like Mr. East Coast will tell you, if there's, and you guys saw when I was standing there talking to you, guys coming up fucking with me, Big J come up, poking me in the head.
Right.
That I give it, but I take it. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is the mark of, that says a lot. I deal with people based upon how they deal with others. If I see you and you're mean to people who are weaker than you, I lose respect for you.
100%. Same.
If you see me, like even during our conversation, I was still very careful with you. Not just because of the pit bull, but because, listen, I mean, let me help you understand this and you'll get it this time. If you ever seen my daughters play with
agree
my...
to disagree with you on that.
Step in the table.
Sorry.
If you, I keep doing it too.
Sorry.
If you ever saw my daughter when she played with my 120-pound pit bull, she had no fear of it. She would ride his back, pull his tail, do his nails. Now,
We have a video.
yeah,
I love it.
but here's the thing. She was afraid of bugs, and when he was around, she wasn't. She was afraid of nothing when he was around, but she in her mind could not perceive him being violent, yet she felt completely safe with him. You don't worry about him being violent to you, but you know if I push you out of the chair right now, you can say all the tough guy, I'll fight you, but you know who's going to be climbing on top of me.
Yeah.
So you do understand what he represents, but you don't want to accept that when these other men walk in and look at him, men automatically see a threat in other men. That's the first thing we see.
The
That's
way
the
you
first thing we see.
describe it, though, it makes it sound like, to me, it's like someone that's over masculine, over like doing that cocky whatever. Like he's that's how it
So
sounds.
that
to
is
me,
what
'cause
men.
he's not like that.
That's being in the world of men. That's what we deal with every single day. As a man, what keeps me from disrespecting another man's home, what keeps all of these guys in here at bay, is the constant threat of violence. That's how men live our lives. As a lady, you don't have to live that way.
Wait, let me just.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Let me put it
If you got up and slapped me right now, let's be honest. What's the chances do you think I'd slap you back? Give me 10%, 20%, 30%. Not what you think is fair, but what are the chances?
0.
Okay, if he got up and slapped me right now, what's the chances I'm gonna slap him back?
Oh yeah, 100.
So here's the thing, real quick, we just answered, the truth of it is, and we know this, we feel this constantly, you don't have to.
We do.
A perpetual state of violence from the time
100%.
Yes, absolutely,
Women
but a
have
different
to-
type.
Yeah.
A different type. So it's not the same, we're
Let me
talking
tell you.
apples and oranges.
Let me tell you a scenario. So it was the day before we left to come here. We had stopped at a store, and we were leaving the stores at nighttime, right? Yeah. So there's a difference between when I go to the store by myself versus going with him.
Absolutely.
So we walk out of the store, and I'm looking at my phone, and like there was some sketchy where we're from. Like it's not a great city at all. But he, like, I was looking at my phone, and he was like, damn, I didn't realize he was, I was in the middle of texting, hey, look up, like, got some guys over here.
Hey, get your ass over here.
Yeah,
So
and so, but that's the thing, is because when I'm with him, it's not that I'm always going to be, just from living where we live, like, you have to keep your head on a fucking swivel.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter if he's with me or not. Like, that's just the city we live in. Like, but when he's with, I told him, I was like, it's a whole different story. If I came to this store at 8 o'clock at night and those guys, like, I probably would have been on the phone with him the whole time, like, going to my car. Like, women are constantly, as she said, and it's different when I'm by myself.
And you just made my point. So you only took a piece of, both of you took a piece of what I said. So now, based upon what you just said, when two of us are in the room, the constant threat of what could happen is what keeps it peaceful. It's the whole nuclear arms thing. The only reason I'm not going to start fucking with you is because I know you got nukes, I got nukes. That's a constant state of male life. So for you guys, you are in a different state of danger because you have people who perceive you as weaker, so therefore they're going to attack you or may attack you because you're weaker. You and I, two men, are assessing each other to determine,
Is it worth it?
is it worth it? How much damage am I going to take for
But
that? So that's the assessment that we live with. So when you're talking about the male mentality in an environment like this, for a guy to walk up and approach a beautiful woman, I'm assessing my threat, and I see a lesser threat with an equally beautiful woman, or acceptably beautiful, and I'm gonna move in that direction. So
Yeah,
my
but
point.
I just gotta say something.
Oh, please, yeah, jump in.
Yeah.
Get in there, come on.
Say something, because I'm really confused. This is our first time here, right? So,
Welcome.
and the
Welcome.
whole afternoon, kind of some topics have come up about how do you approach the wife? How do, or vice versa, how do you connect with somebody, right? So part of the reason we come here, right, is because I can't take her to a regular bar someplace and hope, quote, that a guy's gonna come up and flirt with her, excuse me, right? I bring her here because we enjoy that hopefully somebody's gonna come up and flirt with her.
Mhm.
That flirt doesn't mean that anything's gonna happen, but
Right.
it's a conversation, right? But now I'm kind of hearing, okay, I'm the one that needs to coordinate that, right? Which is okay, but from the same sense, I think it's just as easy for a single guy to come up to us and approach me and go, hey,
Right
don't
there.
take this in the wrong way, but man, you got a beautiful lady right there. And I can go, well, thank you. Let me introduce you to Rhonda.
Exactly.
Right? And then that opens it up, and if they want to flirt, they can flirt, right? If it gets too handsy or too whatever, and he's not polite, then I can step in, or she can take care of herself as
Right.
much as I can.
I can dig
I
it.
can do anything else.
That's exactly the like that's how
That's how
we
you feel.
were expecting guys to come to us
Exactly.
in a not like aggressive
Yeah.
way, but just like approach us. And I'm like, why is it always on the husband?
Think about it this way. There's two people. One knows something and one doesn't. Your husband knows everything. He knows how he should approach. He might even know what the guys you're attracted to. I don't know shit about dude. What I know is tall, good-looking muscles. That right there for me is why, because me and Michael C are good friends, me and Damien, we'll get on a three-way call and talk for hours, right? I was undecided until I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know as a husband, because I'm staff fixing as well. I know my wife is like, if you ain't playing with her, you doing some really fucked up shit because she'll grab your ass. But a lot of guys still don't know. So I know they don't. That's why it is. Now, as far as addressing you don't have to be obvious. You don't have to be running around, hey man, this is my wife. Fuck her, please. Please fuck her. Please fuck her.
That's how it
Do
felt.
that.
That's how it
But
felt.
you can have a little bit more open stance. You can put a smile on your face. You can say, hey, how's it going, sir? When he walks by, there's things a husband can do because I don't know. I go up to you, you're very beautiful, this guy, I don't know if they're a stag and vixen couple. And plus, when I found out interracial, a lot of the interracial couples that I've seen at Fort Lauderdale, for example, the dude was like, almost had his wife in a headlock. And I was like, I'm not approaching that couple. Why?
Can I interject? All right, I want to say what happened last night. So you talk about looking approachable, saying like, hey, yeah, she's down, like whatever. So last night,
This is funny.
we were, mingling in the play area. One of the guys introduced us to another guy, and I think also I must be giving mixed signals or something, because I don't know. I asked the guy, I was like, oh, okay, so for me to even go, it's not necessarily my thing to just be out there fucking in the play areas. But if I've built up, because I'm an extrovert introvert, and if I've built up, like, had a few drinks, like, I want to try this out. And so I was going to do the wife watching room. So the guy, I asked him beforehand, I said, hey, because a lot of the guys, it's kind of, I guess, mixed. Some people play in the playroom, some don't. It doesn't bother me either way. And so I asked him on the front end, I said, hey, do you play in the wife watching room? He's like, oh, yeah. I said, okay, cool. So I'm about to go around the corner, and I'm going to get on a mattress. And he was like, okay, cool. So we go over there. I'm literally like legs open, like rubbing on my pussy. He's sitting right there. And we have all these guys like come, like one sits on either side of you.
And I'm being very accommodating.
So he is doing exactly like, hey, no threat here, right? I'm opening myself up. I'm looking open. I'm telling guys, like, you can fuck her. Like, she's here to get fucked on this mattress. Nobody is fucking coming on the mattress. Hold on. So I literally stripped down, butt ass naked. I was like, well, maybe if I get on all fours. And so I'm on all fours. I'm like, what the fuck? And so no one, literally, and like.
No, see, I was there.
I know.
I walked by. So can I tell you what I'm thinking?
Hold on. Pause. So then I knew there was a guy that was leaving today, and we'd been messaging. So I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like looking at him, and he was like, we're both.
I felt bad for it.
So I immediately got in my head, I was about to be done for Splash. Like, done, fuck this. Like, I've done the opposite. He did the opposite of what y'all are talking about, which is being open, literally telling guys, hey, you can fuck her. Like, she's on this mattress. Like, come on. Like, here it is. Putting it on a platter for you. And still no fucking attention. And so I was like, something's wrong with me. Like, something is wrong. And so we went up to the room. Guy came by the room. And he was like, wait, what the fuck? And everyone we've told is like, no one came up. Before we left, though, the guy that he had told me he had played in the playroom or the wife watching room. I said, yeah, dude, you told me you play. I literally, and he was like, oh shit. I thought it was like a performative art thing. Like, he's like just watching. I'm like, I'm just sitting here rubbing on my clit.
This
like,
is what I was like.
This is exactly what I thought.
Dude.
So body language, he'll talk to you about. So here's what you did, brother. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He's like this.
Cause he's just he
Right?
likes looking
He's
at my
loving
pussy.
it. So I thought, I walked by, I was like, God damn it.
Right.
But you
But
had
I
someone
thought
with you
she
though.
was performative, and
No.
she's just doing this stuff for him.
No.
And so I walked by. I'm gonna tell you another situation where I did play. So I was in a club in Colette. Same situation, but the husband was like this. He sat next to the thing, and he said, right?
Yeah.
Right? She laid down, did exactly what you did. I laid down, we had a great time. It was beautiful. The difference is, if you like this, brother,
And you know what sucks?
you know how many couples come in
But
and never play?
Right.
But like I said, it's the insecurity of it. I just want to show y'all what I got. Well,
And it
I
sucks.
don't care.
He likes
Because
looking
I
at my
got
pussy,
it.
so he's just as intrigued.
So can I explain something to you guys?
Yeah, come on.
So I'm explaining this. The stuff that I'm saying is 100% based upon experience. Do you know how bad it feels for your wife to come home and cry because she feels unattractive?
He was
like,
upset.
That breaks my heart. I've been through watching her cry and feel unattractive and what's wrong with me. And we went through so much for so many different years. And unfortunately, when I say it's your responsibility, as one man to another, nobody's job is to please my wife but my own. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure she leaves here happy. My ego is not bigger than my wife's pleasure. Period. Like it got to the point where when we play with other couples, I would never pull my dick out first. I would never start fucking till she was already fucking. This is multiple times of her being upset, multiple times of some guy wanting to play with her, and then I start playing with his wife. Then I just said, fuck it. I'm going to let you play by yourself. She liked threesomes. We invite a guy over. I come down the room. He's rock hard. I'll pull my dick out, start playing with her. Now he's soft and limp. Now he goes home. She comes upstairs. Daddy, what's wrong with me? That's terrible to me. So when I say it's your responsibility, you don't have to understand it, but he understands. He understands. At the end of this week, I want my wife to go home satiated and happy. So I will do whatever it takes. I will go through whatever yeah, she won't be satiated. But that's kind of where I say I remember, like, and you listen to the podcast, we've talked about it. I can remember her going on a date and the guy coming in like 30 seconds and she getting in the car and calling me, breaking into tears. So now it's, what am I doing wrong? And I'm a man, I understand this. So my mentality is this. Right now, my wife can float all around Mocha because over the last couple years, I have made sure I've shaken as many hands as I can. I've talked to as many people as I can. I laughed and joked with as many people as I can. I have a thing where I will go up to a guy and just say, hey, just to let you know, the wife finds you attractive. So when you see us together later, feel free to come over. All of a sudden, all of a sudden.
But he was doing that last night.
Well, no, I get it.
And still no one would fuck me.
Now, how many years?
Because I was still in the dungeon.
Yeah. But so for me, there was many years and lots of tears and lots of trial and error to where now I have learned where we go to a new place. You have some guys, like we'll get lucky where we'll get guys like him or you or who will walk up and just start talking to me and talking to my wife. But the one thing you will notice, even if a guy comes and talks to your wife, he keeps doing this to you.
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's the constant threat right there. Okay, I'm going to speak to her and look, is it okay? Speak to her and look, is it okay? Speak to her and look, is it okay? That's what we do. So my advice over the time, like there's no question that you're an attractive woman. There's no question. And you've actually got a good personality, you know, once you get past all the prickly knife poking, you know. You know, I got a couple scabs, but I'm good. You know.
I'm married to her, bro.
Yeah, listen. You see mine, I'm in the same situation. But that's what I was saying.
You have to.
I know that
Keeps
the
you humble.
delivery, oh my God, listen.
Keeps you humble.
My boys keep me humble. They don't let me get away with shit. I mean, but so I think over time, and once people get to know you and you start to really get into the circle,
Right.
That'll all go away. You know, once they know, like, oh yeah, he's cool. And like he said, because him and I have had this conversation, you don't realize that I'm just as nervous about rejection as you are. Like, I look at these attractive women here, and I am not guaranteed to be successful. She has a whole plethora of guys. Right. So for me, I'm nervous, I'm concerned, I want to make sure that I impress, and I'm not guaranteed. So there's a lot of stress in me coming up to you, and you're saying to yourself, why the fuck won't they come up to me? And I'm saying to myself, man, I hope the guy, like the husband, gives me like a sign, just.
But
blink,
what happens when they are
blink
giving
twice.
you what happens when they are directly saying, hey, you can go fuck her?
Oh,
And they
that's-
still don't.
Listen, I told you we're gonna bring you some better guys.
Well, somebody fuck my wife.
No, hold on, pause.
All right, boys, let's move the table.
Pineapple. Whoa. I will say this.
I did not mean to raise my hand.
It raised
I
itself.
got to looking around like, oh shit,
Time
I'm
out.
over here right.
So I will say this.
My bad. I apologize.
I am selective on who I'm like. I'm not just saying like, hey, it's a fucking buffet. Like, come on, I'm open, you know. I am selective. I will say that. And so it has, I think that's where because he's like, I don't know who you're feeling or who you're not. So I've had to learn that in myself and take that lesson and say, okay, because if it were up to him and I let him have full reign of like, hey, you make the calls, he would have a fucking guys like coming out our door, like our room, just a revolving door. He'd be like, yes, go take it. But the thing for me, so like, I've done a few content things where I've gone by myself and like just shot content, and he stayed at the house, and he's like, just come back to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's a huge turn on for me. I don't like it that much. I don't like playing without him watching, because for me, the turn on, like, is when I'm fucking someone and I'm seeing how turned on he is. It's my people-pleasing nature. It just, like, it makes me even more excited, and, like, I really want to get into it because I see how turned on he is, and that makes me, like, I guess a slight performative thing. I don't know. But to me, it doesn't feel performative because it's like a safety thing where it's like, oh, I feel like I can lose myself in this fuck session right now because I see how turned on he is, and that makes me even more turned on. I don't necessarily like. I've done it a few times, like going. He would.
But it's somebody that we're very close with.
Yeah, like he's like, hey, if I know the dude, like I'm totally cool with you going, meeting him at a hotel, fucking coming back. And that's just not it for me. Like, I'm not really into that.
At home with that tingly feeling in your stomach. Yeah, I know.
He loves
So
it.
that tingly feeling that you were talking about yesterday, about, it feels like a roller coaster. Yeah, bro. I mean, that's what I like about it.
You get to swim in a different level of emotions when your wife is off playing or going there. And once you embrace them, and Mrs. Mocha, you guys your story is very similar. And there's this, we've gone through a lot, we've been through a lot, and with my wife, like, I'm a very logical person, which sometimes make her wants to punch me in the face. So, like, with her, I'll say, okay, honey, if we go to a place and there are 125 men there, there's only about 30 that you want to fuck. Okay, and out of 30 that you want to fuck, okay, when you're in the mood for me to watch, only about half of those guys are going to be comfortable with me watching. When you're in the mood for me to join, okay, only a quarter of those guys. Now, those guys that you tend to want are going to be the top tier guys that everybody wants. So now you're in a situation where, like for you, if you're saying, man, the guys that I want aren't available, no, the guys that you want aren't available because you're attracted to a guy like that. Okay, you're attracted to a guy who's used to getting what he wants for the most part. So that means all the guys that you're attracted to are going to be more like him. So that means that you have to understand what you're trying to get and what you're attracted to, and then realize that in this environment, because the environment makes a big difference.
You said the timing was a good thing this morning. That was a good point. Yeah.
Timing and environment.
Yeah.
In this environment, as attractive as you are, no, I'm.
Stop calling me attractive.
Well, not you. Her talking to her. Attractive as she is, and attractive as the ladies are here, you have to understand this.
There's a lot of beautiful females here.
If I come to you being the kind of person I am, I'm going to come to you humbly when I want to play with you. Because I feel like what I'm asking for and what I'm offering are of equal value. I am not going to downplay your value because I know that I'm only attracted to a small percentage of ladies here, and that means everybody's going to be attracted to them. And when it comes to that, if I come to you and say, hey, I would really like to play with you, I am nervous. And if you give me a bunch of flack, now outside the people, like if I know you, everybody who I know, they're smart asses. They're gonna, it's always bantering. Yep. But if I just met you and you make me feel like I need to worship you to play with you, go fuck yourself. Not you.
No,
not
but
you,
I feel the same way. That's how I thought you were. I'm like, I'm not gonna worship this
Bow
guy.
down to the superior
go
penis.
Fuck yourself.
I so lay thy penis out upon the table.
That'd make a great show.
She kicked me in the nuts if I tried that. I'm not gonna do that.
I I noticed when this conversation first started, it was opposite on the debate side. But as y'all got to talking, I realized that y'all both said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You said your daughter feels protective because of her because y'all pit bull because it's so fucking big. I'm scared of animals, like all of them. So, but when the daughter is scared of bulls too, everything. Bugs. When your daughter's with the dog, there's no fear factor, and that's okay. But you said the exact same thing because when you was in the hood and you went to the store, and if you wasn't with him, you're gonna be on the phone with him because you understand that hey, my protector is not here. But when he was there, you walking around bumping into walls.
Yeah, dude, on the phone,
You
just
know what
like
I'm saying? Because you know.
TikTok.
So it goes back to so then it goes back to this. But y'all both agreeing in y'all own way of disagreeing, y'all still agree, but it goes back to this. When I see you, because you keep a smile on your face, and you're fucking beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I would have sex with you every day.
Last compliment.
in
She
front
gets
of
no
you.
more. You've had enough. Look at her head.
I'm so embarrassed.
I can't even move. Get your head off me.
I would do something bad to you every day in front of him. The problem is, this is your protector. This is your protector. Like he's his wife's protector. So at the end of the day, no matter what guy, I don't care, they could be Brock Lesnar. They're still gonna take the time to say, is it okay with you? Now, his problem is, he has it doesn't matter face. Because he's just like,
Yeah. Who wants that face staring at him when you're trying to
You
get
know what I'm
hard?
saying?
You're trying to get an erection, and this guy is over.
because
He look like he gonna beat you with a guitar.
Yeah, like
I
yeah.
seen him yesterday. Y'all decide to-
It's not gonna work.
He look like if you do the wrong thing, you
Y'all
might
can
get
look
hit
at-
with a flute upside the
Y'all can look at
head.
him how you want to. I've been looking at them.
Yeah, that one titty man too.
But that's us. That you're going to have a small percentage of guys here who are going to be comfortable walking up to him, having a conversation, talking to her, and then even her personality. Her personality is similar to my wife's personality. No, I like strong personalities. I talk to you for a few seconds. I've talked to you. I mean, even the blushing, shy one there, I've heard her when she engages. She knows what's on her mind. I'm attracted to that. So the problem is, not the problem, the beauty is I understand that you reduce the playing field for yourself because you don't want a weak guy. You're not going to be turned on by a weak guy. You would have been turned off by me.
No, I can't be a wet blanket.
Yeah.
If you don't have a backbone, if you can't talk
Yeah.
shit and banter with me, like,
Yeah. She
You're
came and
super
attacked
sweet.
me, and she was trying to see if I would back that shit up when she saw me in person.
Okay, Mr. Mocha.
She was waiting for it.
Oh, she was red. She hit me with the military.
She was ready.
This is a question to you. Alright, so you've been doing this, right? This is you Mr. Mocha for a reason. You did. So you've been
don't
doing
make his
this.
ego any
Thank
bigger
you
than
for
it is.
being nice to me.
My problem, like this is what I've been going through since I've been here. A couple will say, "Hey, are you available at 2:00?" I'll say yes. Then another couple will say, "Hey, are you available at 2:00?" And I'll say yes. And then a third couple will say, "Hey, are you available at 2:00?" And I'll be like, "Yes."
And you give us all the bad goddamn name.
Okay, so
knock that shit
I'm
off.
gonna stop doing that. Like,
Stop.
I've had that. I've had a guy that's been trying to fuck
You
me.
got
I'm
your
like,
dick doing the scheduling.
But that's
My dick wrote you in here, and it wrote you in there.
I've had that with a guy that has like he wanted to meet me in 2022, and this whole like he was like, I'm never gonna meet you, blah blah. And I'm
Our
like,
first time was in
dude,
2022.
I literally am in your face right here, right now. And you're with another couple. I'm not gonna like just be an asshole and come up to you and be like, ugh. When I see you're with a couple and you're gonna go do your thing,
Yeah.
I would never try to step on somebody's, that has something lined up. But he's like, I guess we're just never gonna. And I'm like, dude, that's on you. I've told you I'm here. I am available. And then you're ghost for, and then it's like 30 minutes, an hour later. And then I've already got something lined up. Now, I will say, we have ourselves, more so him, thinking with your dick, he'll double book. He'll be like, yep, she's down. Yep, come on. And then he's like, oh, fuck. We double booked.
Yeah.
Like,
You got your hot block 3 holes?
Yeah.
but that's the other thing is a lot of guys we've met so far this time around are not like with having other guys join. Like they want just a single, like just them.
This is the first time. This is the first time.
This
Just-
is not
just
this
first time.
first
No
time.
problem with anybody
Some guys,
joining.
you know.
No, some a lot, there's
No,
been
so-
a few.
Join.
So to answer your question, I would say this: there are a lot of people here, and you're going to want to play with a lot of people. I am very careful to not schedule a time. I know there are people who I would like to play with, but timing is always off. Like, if she just finished playing, she may want time to rest, rehydrate. Definitely take a shower if you're playing with me, because I don't want but oftentimes while you're playing, she's not, and then like I say, we only got so many bullets in the gun, okay? They have renewable resources, we don't. They can outfuck us any day of the week. Like, that's not a competition we should try to engage in, and then you have to choose, do I want to be the guy who shows up to a woman who I really want to play with and I'm trying to push limp dick in her, and now
Dude.
the worst thing is this. It's not even about your ego. Now you have this poor woman walking around questioning herself. Now she's thinking, is it me?
It's the young
So-
ones that I have
No,
had
I
horrible
don't-
luck with because I'm like putting in some fucking work.
Because
like
you're attractive. They want to have sex with you. Their dick is dead, but in their mind, they're like, maybe you just give it the old college try. And then they go in there and it don't work. So
I give him an A for effort. I mean,
I don't.
but I'll look
I don't-
over at him and I'm like,
Don't do that shit to my
when I
wife.
see that face, I'm like, yes.
I have been putting some work in here. It's always the older guys are like, it seems like they seem more self-aware of their limits, like what you just described.
Because I'm an older guy.
It's like
Yeah.
that old saying, you got 2 bulls, the young bull and the big bull, and then the young bull run down the hill to try to get some, but then the big bull tell him, man, slow down.
Walk down and fuck 'em off.
Just walk down.
Because you're going to wear yourself out trying to run.
And then also the question is, like, we all have a different motivation here. Like, one of the fellas and I talked, there's a lady who we both seen, we both want to play with, and she's only a group sex person. That's not me. I can't fuck with the TV on. Like, I'll be fucking and I'll hear something on the Nature Channel like, what, that bird dives at 200 miles an hour? Dick's
Hearing
gone.
his laugh in the
Dick
BDSM
is
room.
gone.
I was enjoying the flogging, but like having ADHD, like that's why I was like, I want to be blindfolded so I could like really like get into the sensory play. And I was enjoying, flogging was awesome, but I couldn't fully like engross myself in the experience because I hear his loud ass laughing, like just hanging out. I'm just
I'll
like,
fix that.
Yeah.
Come back tonight, I'll fix that.
He'll get you some earplugs or headphones.
but I'm the same way. I can't like.
I'm just like you.
And so-
I'm fucking, I don't care what it is. If something off the topic be heard, I'm like, wait, what was that?
And then with me, this is where my arrogance comes in. With my arrogance is this. If I'm not the best person she's ever had sex with, that's fine, but I'm damn sure not gonna be the worst. Okay?
Who are you talking about?
That's all it is.
We still have negotiation to go into, you and I. You've hurt my feelings.
I want to wrestle.
Oh, this is gonna be
I
fun.
got back problems on the ass. I'm not wrestling you. So if your motivation is to take care of her and do a good job, because like I said, we're gonna go back to how I feel about my wife. He will tell you, the first time he played with my wife, I came, gave him a hug, slapped him up, was like, hey man, I was a little worried at first. I was a little worried, but you came through, she came out happy, because my wife she cannot lie with her face. She's a bad liar. She came out, she's like, now we friends.
Yeah.
That's what I want everybody to experience when I touch them, and I know that I'm not gonna be able to do that if I fuck too many times. There's women who I want to play with this mocha, but it's not gonna happen because if the gun's out of bullets, I'm not gonna go in there and push rope. You know, I'm very particular about myself. I tell people, if I give you my number and we decide to play, you need to give me 20 minutes. I'm gonna go shower. I'm not bringing, used balls to your room or, extra salty. I have a whole procedure. My wife is the same way. My wife is gonna clean herself up. When she goes in, she knows me personally. don't make me look bad because I'm not going to make you look bad. If you not up for fucking, don't go in there and fuck that man. Go in there and blow his mind. If you have that mentality, you're not going to double book, you're not going to double schedule, you're not going to overfuck yourself, because otherwise, what's the point? And believe you me, if you give my wife some lame dick, she going to tell her friends.
That's game.
No, I'm not.
You don't want to double book yourself.
She gonna tell.
I'm not. I usually just say, like, you should try it out for yourself.
No, see, but after years, that's her version of telling. Because if he give out some supreme pain, she's like, oh my God, the dick was so good, he hit me in the head with it
But I
twice.
always give like people an opportunity too to like, what if they had like a bad day that day, or you know, whatever. Like, you always get like one time. If you give me one time of bad day, that's cool. We can still try again. You couldn't say that about me. I always give people like a second chance.
Same.
Because there may be a day that Mr. Mocha's went in and had some fine ass chick, and he comes out and he's like, I'm having a malfunction. I'm mad at him. I'm like, what the fuck? You're representing us.
And
Don't do
I
that shit.
tell her, I'm not gonna sit there with a limp dick for 20 minutes. I'm gonna say, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I'm not functioning at the moment. You know, if I feel better later and you're willing to give me another chance, please do. If not, I understand. I'm not about to sit there, because we've been there where some guy's sitting there trying to push rope for 20 minutes, like,
Dude.
and now she giving me the side eye, like, get him off me. And I'm like, oh my God. All right,
That's
buddy.
some awkward shit, huh?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fucking.
But maybe
Yeah.
that's something when you guys have these. I mean, I don't know what y'all talk about when you guys have the single guy like meeting. That needs to, like, I get the communication, because we've also talked about this, which is the thing about. I told him this. I said the thing I find like funny about the lifestyle is you get on any podcast, and what is the number one topic lifestyle people talk about all day long, and they preach this shit. Communication, but communication, talking about it and practicing it is two different things. And single guys, couples, whatever your dynamic is, it's very interesting, because this couple or this single guy might be like you and be very self-aware, know his limits, feel comfortable expressing, hey, I can't give you what I want to, I am interested in you, this is nothing against you, like, hit me up tomorrow, whatever. Or this couple might be, you know, great communicators, and then they get with someone that's like trying to push that, you know. I just find it interesting that all these lifestyle podcasts and people that have been in the lifestyle for years and years and years, they talk about it. But what we've witnessed is in practice, they'll be preaching about it, but actually practicing it, you see the like miscommunications, you see the little things if you're an observant person. But with the single guys, to that point, is them being more like telling them, hey, especially the younger ones, if it's not happening, you need to be the one to say, hey, right now is not the time, blah, 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 blah. Like, because I feel like they can't read the room. Someone in the chat said that. They were like, I just think in general, in society, people have a hard time reading the fucking room.
I mean, but
That's
even with
true.
that being said, though, you're putting a broad spectrum into one situation. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying the single guys or the young guys, but your comment is based off of a situation. Because I promise you, Mr. Mocha or myself, if we can't, I'm just gonna be like, hey, look, I can't do it right now.
But
We would appreciate that.
Yeah,
We
but
would
we
appreciate
are a
that as
small
a couple,
percentage.
though.
We're a small
That's what I'm
percentage.
saying. But she's speaking on a small percentage.
No, she believe it or not, in my opinion, she's speaking on a large percentage. And to the communication point, no one wants to take responsibility for communication. Okay, that's why, in my opinion, it's the husband's job, because it's my job to make sure my wife is happy.
Right.
My wife coming here and get dick, it ain't none of y'all job to please my wife. You are going to give her some pleasure, but it's my job to make sure she's good. In my household, everything is my responsibility, from the dishes to the goddamn feeding and education of the kids. How it's delegated is one thing, but her pleasure is my job.
Yes, sir.
And I will do whatever it takes. So that being said, that's why I say I put it on the husband. Me and Michael C debate this all the time. Because if my wife come in here and she leaves unhappy, you know who she mad at? You know who suffer? She say I ain't mad at you, Daddy, but I gotta look at her face. He laughing because he know, right, Dick? You know. When she come home and she upset because somebody gave her some lame dick, you know who suffered? This guy. So now what I do is I make sure when we go to the clubs, you know, I have my little things that I do. There's certain guys when I read the guide, there's certain guys that I gotta step back. You know, just like with you, like when you came in, I was joking with you, messing with you about that. I know I can joke with you. We've been poking each other randomly the whole time. I know I can do that. My job is to learn to read the guys. That's what I do. I learn to read the couples because I would much rather have no sex here and let her fuck everybody she wants to than her go home with that disappointed look in her face. So nobody wants to take, and you're right, communication is the worst thing within a lifestyle because everybody wants someone else to be responsible for communicating. I don't need nobody to communicate for my dick.
Where you go? Because it goes back to what you just said, goes back to what he just said. Because there's certain people that you can talk to and you don't know. Because I know me, you know her, she knows you, but I'm that third person. I don't know y'all.
Yeah, and it's two against one.
Right,
it's two of y'all, it's one of me.
So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say and or how to say it. So if you meet me down in the lobby and you say, hey, let's go to my room and fuck. Now, my ego gonna say, hell yeah. We gonna go upstairs. Now my dick don't get up. I don't know how to leave the room. I'm like, well, damn. So it's fuck this motherfucker. And eventually it's gonna do something. I mean,
maybe
it might not get all the way hard, but we're gonna get you something. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's like going back to what he says. It's hard for the guy who's the outcast to interact and entertain and even say anything because what you gonna say? You know what I mean? It's like, my bad, sir. My bad, ma'am. And nobody want to say that.
But it's just as uncomfortable for the female to speak up if she can't or she's not feeling it. Like, there's been times I've been playing with guys and I'm like, I don't know if he took something because he's going really hard, he's going really long, and I can't take it. I don't know how to speak up in that situation either. Well, that's easy for you to say. It's your perspective.
Guys like that though. Guys like when females tap out. They be like, oh, she tapped out.
Well, but females don't necessarily know that, and not everybody's the same way. So it's kind of like we all have to get to the point where we can be in that uncomfortable space and speak up, because at the end of the day, we all are uncomfortable.
You know what I do? I actually say that I'm going to pee and then take a few deep breaths. I usually do pee. I could pee any time of the day. And then, like, I just go back in the room, like, oh, okay, yeah, like, can we take a break? Like, maybe we can come back to it later, especially if I've sucked a dick or something till my face freaking hurts, because that's happened a few times. Because I like a challenge, so that's cool. I'll sit here and suck it for 30 minutes. Hopefully it gets hard, but that's your time limit. When you hit 29 minutes, you're getting one more minute, and then we're going to be done. But I try not to make it awkward for anybody. I just say, like, maybe we can do this later, like, or don't say anything at all and start putting my clothes back on, like, no big deal. I mean, it's going to be, I feel like it's going to be awkward either way when that happens, because most guys get embarrassed. Right. I'm not embarrassed for you, because I've been married to Mr. Mocha for a long time, and that motherfucker has a finicky penis. If there's too many things going on in his peripherals, it goes down. If he's in, like, he won't do, like, group play, he won't do whatever. Something could smell weird in the room, and he'll be like, oh, I couldn't do it because somebody had wings in their room, and I couldn't stand the smell of the wings while I was getting my dick sucked. I'm like, you're focused on the wrong thing, but that's okay. I could fuck in a room full of people. As long as, nobody's touching my asshole, I'm good. But, I mean, there are ways around it, and it's not, for that in particular, for me, it's never comfortable. There's not a comfortable way to just say, like, sorry, dude, your dick's not working. We don't have to get our dicks to work, so I don't have a dick, so I don't have to get that to work. So I just take it with, well, I don't have to do that function. So, I mean, the guy may be in his head. There's been plenty of times I'm just having sex and I get in my head, Yeah. My pussy dries out maybe. I don't know, but I can just put lube on it. Doesn't matter. I don't have to have a functioning part, So.
You suck my dick for 30 minutes, I'm going to sleep.
That's what Mr. Mocha does. It's okay. She'll say, I need you to either fuck me or suck my dick till I fall asleep. Okay. No problem.
Lucky man.
But no, going back to the way beginning when it first started, you look amazing.
Thank you.
And I seen you last night once again. You like You are
I won't
intimidating.
cross my arms.
No, you are intimidating. And then it's like, my thing is being new to Splash, I don't know who knows who.
Mhm.
So some people come just for their people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's in my mind. Like, well, they might be here for the people they're talking to.
Right.
So when I seen y'all last night, you was smiling, but you was standing there like,
Security
I
guard.
really don't want to be here.
Right.
So-
Security guard. Yeah.
I was
Security
like,
guard.
okay, well, I'm gonna let them enjoy their people
Right.
who they're talking to
We
already.
don't have people.
We're gonna fix that.
Right.
No,
but
it's
that with that too though. When they talk in the single guide meeting, like one of the meetings I was actually in, they say don't approach the couple, like let the girl kind of look at you and then, so you would have to, I mean, I just look at a guy like Steak if I want to have sex with
Yeah,
him.
she ain't
Like,
lying.
I'm not, and I apologize about it later because I'm probably like super pervy, but I mean, yeah.
No,
I mean, that's
I
why
can't
we
help
all-
it.
We
That's-
are fucking pervy. That's why
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
all
yeah.
here,
the thing is,
you
like,
know?
I can come off as very extrovert, but like truly in my like inner core, I'm an introvert. So like, I think that I can give off mixed signals, like where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm down, but like I'm waiting for the guy to be like,
Oh no,
hey.
no, you just ask. Because here they want, like that's what they tell the guys to do. Let the couples
Yeah.
ask you. So
Yeah.
there may be some guys here that have been to several mochas, and they will say like, "Are you playing? Would you like to play?" Blah blah blah. But for the most part, I have to advocate for myself.
Yeah.
I have to say, can I play with your dick later after the podcast, maybe? And usually, like, but not even in that way. But you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I mean, you can.
I want to. That was the plan. I told you after the podcast. So, sorry. We're off subject. But, that being said, like, I understand your perspective, you guys' perspective too.
Yeah, I think
So-
that for me, it's like in my single days, I am old fashioned in the sense of like, I never pursue men. Like, I was used to having guys pursue me. Like, so coming into this situation where it's typically like you just said, the women are like, hey, I find you attractive, I want to fuck you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, that's awkward for me because I'm a natural introvert where I'm like, yeah, I might see someone I want to fuck. I'm like, oh, I want to, see if that vibe is there. But like, I'm like, to me, last night, how I felt, I felt like I was like having to beg for dick. Like, literally opening myself up, like, come fuck me. Like, and
But
nobody
it goes
would.
back to what her husband just said, though. That's when you communicate with him. You see what I'm saying? You communicate with him and, hey, man.
Because they do also tell them in the meetings that
Yeah.
the guys, you need to talk to the husband
Yeah.
first. Talk to
And that was
da,
the
da, da, da.
problem, was he was telling guys, hey, you can go fuck her.
You didn't tell me that.
And they still weren't coming. Like, that's what they thought, it was some performative piece. And that's why I was like, okay, I get that. It's on him to like tell the guys, like, yes, you can go fuck her. She's open, she's here on this mattress,
Yeah,
right?
but you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to approach the guys. You can tell your husband, hey.
He did
I'm
that.
gonna do a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, he
second
did
dance.
that.
I'm gonna
He
fucking,
did that,
you know.
and still nobody
Well,
cared.
Just do a helicopter. Do a helicopter.
Right.
Put your dick in her mouth, and then people will start coming over. They'll be like, "Oh, okay, that's just another dude. That's not even her husband." And then you can just hand out condoms. Here you go.
Yes.
She's good to go.
You just need a few minutes with this maniac, and
I got you. You just gotta tell me who you want to fuck.
listen, you float around
Good at
her
giving
for a while,
references.
then you'll get annoyed because everybody will think that you're their best friend because she's everybody's best friend. So her friends generally are like, "Oh, you with Mrs.Mocha? Hey!"
But y'all are royalty in this motherfucker.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
The reason I say there's no such thing is because we started coming here because we wanted to go to a place where we didn't know people, and we're both outgoing. Being outgoing, I realized that for me to say hi to every guy and talk to every guy and make him comfortable with me opens him up to just not seeing me as a threat. My first 15, 16 years in the lifestyle, I had to tone myself down because I got into a lifestyle where being a black guy in a lot of the circles I was in, I had to realize that I was intimidating husbands and things like that. So for a lot of years, I made sure I toned myself down, tone myself down. I'm aware of who I am. I'm aware of my presence. I'm not confused about it. Sometimes I forget, and I need a reminder, but I'm aware of it.
I'm usually there to help you out with
She's
the
usually
reminder.
helping me out. You
I'm
have
like
a good
daddy.
personality. You're comfortable talking to people. That's why I pin it on you, because you have the personality and energy. You should be the fucking mayor. And when I say you should be the mayor, it's why not? You're in this lifestyle, and it's a phenomenal lifestyle.
But for that only, like he said, that does actually help her.
Right.
Because then they're like, oh no, if somebody says, oh, this guy's intimidating, they're like, oh no, he's not intimidating, he's cool as shit, you know, just be nice to his
Right.
girl,
Yeah,
da da
it's
da
a
da
community, so
Because
people
I
need to
had
know.
people that don't want to fuck me when they found out that I'm married to him. That's why we walk around separately, but don't tell him
Okay,
that.
okay.
I'm joking.
I'm not talking for the rest of
No. But once people started talking to him, because I had a few guys like, oh no, I'm not fucking you. Like, I gotta go talk to your dude. And I'm like, no, you don't. I was so confused. I'm like, I don't.
It's not whack. We survive.
We did.
We survive life by identifying patterns. That's how we survive. If you walk into a situation where 80% of the guys who look like you with a wife like her behave this way, I mean, if 80% of the time your parachute wasn't going to open up,
Right.
you wouldn't jump out the fucking plane. No. For these guys, it's the same sensation of walking up and getting denied. We know what denial feels like. It don't feel good. So that being said, that's why it's experience. It's experience saying, dude, for you, it's a compliment. It's a compliment that you're intimidating. And then on top of that, once you make guys comfortable, for them, they feel good knowing that, you know, you're a cool guy, and she's gonna have a better experience when the guys like you and they're comfortable with you.
Right.
That's huge when they like you and they're comfortable with you. Like these guys who know me, you have certain husbands who get weird if you fuck his wife too good. I shit you not. That's a huge percentage. Huge percentage of guys get upset if you fuck his wife too good.
Even if they encourage their wife to
Even
fuck?
because I've seen husbands cry. I had a husband threaten me recently. Okay.
It was good times.
But
We don't-
he wanted,
There's a huge
he initially said that though.
There's a huge percentage of guys, in their mind, they've been with this woman X amount of time and they brought her here sexually. You come in and they're like, yeah, I want you to get her there, I want you to do this. In their mind, you can only bring her here. In their mind, they know her limit. They push this car as fast as it can go.
Yeah.
You bring it here. And now they're like, who the fuck is she? And what'd you do? And now they're upset with you.
Right.
Yes.
So now,
That's happened to a friend of ours.
Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a true statement.
the husband was like, yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's
once
true.
you
They're
start
not
understanding, because you guys, I always see the couple, you're actually the hunters. There's two of you and one of me. Once you start understanding the prey that you're stalking, you're going to be more successful at it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, with me, I know I come across rough, and to her point from the very beginning, I should explain myself better instead of just whacking her over the head, because I wasn't talking
But
about
wait,
OC.
did you know her?
No.
So that was why. He doesn't explain things to people that he doesn't care about or know. When he meets you, that's a true statement. He's ask
Thanks,
her.
honey. That
First of all, you do that to our children sometimes. So it's okay. You rip the Band-Aid real quick. He's the boss of the house, okay? But I don't think, because I know him, the intent is never mean. He's just super fucking direct. I told guys here, if you want to have sex with me, you have to say, I want to have sex with you at 5:01 and 30 seconds p.m. because I live with this motherfucker and that's the only way I'm going to know. If you're just like, hey, you know, whatever, I'm going to be like, oh, hey, how are you? Because I'm a little ditzy sometimes. I'm not always the brightest crown in the box. I'm
Same.
like, okay. And then he's like, baby, that guy wanted to play with you. I'm like, oh, did he? He didn't say anything. Yeah. So
Same.
that's when I had to become more direct.
I
He'll
made her
be
cry her
like,
first mocha.
he just needs to smile. That's
Her
it.
first
But
mocha,
you're
I made her
still,
cry.
control's an illusion, as he always says. You're the person in control. You're the pussy. Pussy has power.
You got the power.
He's just here as let me explain the pit bull, okay? I call it at home releasing the pit bull. That is because I can take care of myself. He knows that. I completely do, just like you said, I go places by myself. I was home with all of our children for years by myself without him. if I, what we call release the pit bull, that means it's really bad and somebody's done something really, really mean, really, really bad. So that's what he meant by like the pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
He is, like you said, gentle giant. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboy doesn't know that. You know, Dick doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. You know that. I know that he's not a dick. If everyone else in the world thinks he's a dick, I'm okay with it.
Right.
Like, you
Just
know.
because she's not afraid of it. Like,
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
afraid
Yeah.
of it.
But that's what I was saying, like gentler, what releasing the pit bull for us is.
Yeah.
I've had enough of the doctor's office. Okay, you can come with me next time and talk to them. Because clearly I don't speak English.
So I say this. I
This recently
say,
happened. She went to a doctor's appointment.
so I say this.
If
I'm
you
like,
ask this
look,
question, no.
I'm crazy, right? Like,
So am I.
I'm crazy.
You know.
But but I can still talk to you logically and like, you know, I can receive what you're trying to tell me. If you're not hearing me and you're still like trying to argue or whatever the situation is, if it gets to a point where I'm fed up and I'm done, I'm gonna be like, hey, handle this. That's because I always tell people, I'm like, I'm crazy. If you think I'm crazy, like if it gets to that point where someone is like crossing a line, if he has to step in, like, I'm sorry, dude.
But I'm really
like,
cool with it. I'm
but
gonna be
he's
cool as fuck.
very
What's up, right
like,
there?
he's sharp with it. Yeah, like.
But
And so as men,
he
we
just
see-
said,
we see
wait,
that guy
wait,
first.
wait, wait. He just said he was gonna be real cool with it. So, Mr. Mocha is definitely super cool with it, but he looks like he's about to kill, like that face that you're making right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
He looks like he's about to kill someone.
Yeah.
So you don't have to say shit with your words. You're saying shit with your face.
Yeah.
That nurse is gonna put the IV in the correct vein with you sitting there. A guy came in and gave me an IV one time and was fucking sweating. Mr. Mocha was just sitting there chilling, doing nothing. His whole hand was shaking. He didn't say or do anything. He was just chilling.
No,
You talked about-
actually what
yeah.
I said was, listen, everything's are fragile. Are you experienced doing this? If you're not, then please get somebody else to do it. Because she's already terrified of needles, and I don't like seeing her in pain.
No, I wasn't. No, we were past the terrified of needles
Oh,
part.
you still
And then right there was enough to put fear into any
Fuck yeah.
MD who's trying to find your vein. They could
Not
have been
my
doing it for
desire.
10
You fuck
years.
Doogie Howser, huh?
Not my desire.
But
You know that pain you experience when somebody, like, to see her, that nervous look in her face,
Mhm.
it hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it makes, I'm not an anxious person, but when I see her in any sort of discomfort, it makes me anxious on the inside.
Mhm.
I can't take any of this pain. It's like your kids and your wife. I wish I could take it.
Yep.
The last 2 years, if I could have taken that pain. So for me, I'm okay humbling myself, communicating, whatever it may be, doing the research, figuring out the science. And that's the only responsibility that I challenge husbands with. Like, make sure she's happy.
Right.
Make sure, and whatever it may be, because I don't need her to humble herself. I will do that. Now, there's times when I, like her first mocha, she's in there walking through, there's, you know, this is dick everywhere. I just don't know which dick to choose. And usually we go to parties, there's 2 dudes that she can fuck.
Right.
There's 100 here, and she's like, Daddy, I just don't know. Hey, come up to the room. I don't know what to say. They're dudes.
No. Let's start from the beginning. What'd you actually do when we got in the room?
I don't know what to do.
Baby, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck what? There's a whole bunch of dicks
Dick
fucking
everywhere.
walking around. Just pick one and just do it. And I'm like,
They're staring at
but
me.
I don't know who to pick. Like, I've never
Thank
done this
you.
before. But here was the problem. We'd only been to couples parties before that. Couples you have to talk to for 5 hours.
Yes.
Sometimes you get lucky and they're down to fuck just like you and they just want to go to the room. But it's usually like the smoozing. The people want to socialize. They want to dance a little bit. And then, you know, maybe at 3 a.m. you'll play. So the concept of coming to a party and me walking up to Cowboy and saying like, hey, I want to play with you, and him playing with me was alien.
Right.
fucking alien. So when he comes, we get to the room, he yells at me. He never raises his voice. His tone changes. If it goes low, we're good. If it goes high, we're in trouble.
Yeah, the whole.
The red light. If there's a higher
But your
option.
tone changed, but I'm not yelling.
Yeah.
You're yelling.
So we call it yelling. So he yells at me in the room. I cry a little bit.
Literally not
I was
yelling.
being a sensitive bitch. It was overwhelming. I get overwhelmed quickly.
I do too.
So we get in the room. I cry a little bit, dry up my tears. He's like, "Who do you want to fuck?" And I was like, "The tall guy. I want to fuck the tall guy."
I said, stay right here. I walk over. I said, excuse me, how you doing? All right, you see the lady standing over there right here? That's my wife. No pressure. She finds you very attractive. Would you like to play with her? Yeah. Would you like to play with her? Uh-huh. And then she comes down like,
And after that, it was just like, okay, this is like.
Yeah.
But the first party, he was like my emotional support human. Cause
Yeah.
I normally now we don't have to be together because we know enough people that it's not. I'm not scared to be alone. But that party too, he was definitely like my
Yeah.
advocate. Just hey, like my wife finds you attractive, da da da, and. Like they did say, I don't normally agree with like the whole machismo, like alpha, like guy, like women worship their men type thing. I'm winking.
don't be spanked in front of company.
Being a little bratty, maybe for later. But I mean, he really does. What the way I look, perspective for me is that what I can't do, he can. I can put that on him. So even when he's a dickhead. And I just say, well, I'm sorry, he's being a dickhead. Had I known he was mean to you, I wouldn't have apologized a bit in the beginning because we didn't know each other. And I would have been like, she just might be some troller from Twitter. We don't know. But now we meet each other in person, and I'm like, oh my God, you were so mean to her, and now I'm mad at you.
Yeah, like she's automatically on your side. There's no question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do to her?
Overall, use them as your person. If you feel, especially if you're as cute as you are, and you feel like a bunch of people are not talking to you, girl, walk around with me.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the vibe was different last night because there were a few people that said like that. I think
there
maybe
was a lot
people
of
got
parties
here
going on.
earlier.
Yeah.
In the week too, and people were kind of tired yesterday.
Yeah. We heard that people go balls the wall like Thursday night or like maybe Wednesday. Like we got in Thursday morning. But I wanted to bring up what you said about the medical part of it. Like I had to have a hysterectomy, and like the guy that was wheeling me from the OR to the room, like I was like, he was bumping into everything. Like I was coming up out of anesthesia. So by the time we got up to the room, he was there, and as soon as he made eye contact, I looked at him, and I just had like starting to cry. And this nurse, if I wouldn't have been fucked, I would have fucked her up, because she went crying until she saw you, because he saw the look in my face, because his reaction is, what's wrong? What happened? Like, I was like, they're fucking bumping me, and I'm like feeling all of that, and it was like that look of like, that's my safe space. Yeah. So when I made eye contact, like getting wheeled into that room, and he saw my face, and he was like, what happened? Like, that was just like, he was immediately like on high alert. So I wholeheartedly like can relate to that.
And then that part of being who I am, it relates to every single thing. My kids.
Same.
I come home and the kids had her pissed off. The first thing I ask, did I do something wrong? No?
Did I do
Oh,
something
thank
to
God.
offend you?
Did I do something to offend you? That's always my question. And then she tell me it's the kids. I'm like, thank God, I'm going to attack these people because it's not me. You know what I'm saying? And then, and so that's how we are. The kids, everybody knows. Because she won't take it out on those people.
Right.
She'll take it out on me. I'm the one not gonna get no pussy tonight. You know what I'm saying? You piss her off, I come home, now I'm sitting there with a dry dick. So I go out there, attack these people, let the kids have it, and I'm like,
FYI, he's never spanked our kids in the
yeah.
entirety of our relationship.
No, I mean-
Okay, he has not had to. His
No,
tone
like,
changes.
yeah, but-
It's the tone change.
but it goes everywhere. It goes everywhere from, and it's equal. It's, I protect her from herself. You know, my wife is very, very sharp, but she doesn't carry the awareness that I carry. That's not her thing. That's
Again, not the brightest crown in the box.
You know?
I am all over the place.
Mr. Mocha, Miss Mocha, I apologize. I got the PP.
Hey, listen, man, go
Okay.
ahead. You do not have to ask. We just don't want you pissing the cup in front of us. It's not that kind of party.
Bro, it was nice.
If you ain't doing nothing, God
for sure.
damn, why the fuck did you just stand up?
See, I try to tell you.
If y'all ain't doing nothing, if y'all ain't doing nothing, holla at your boy.
Yeah, are you gonna be downstairs?
What? I'm gonna be wherever you need me to be.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I tried to get at you last night. But Mr. Intimidating here, Mr. Mocha said it personally and said it out loud. Don't stand like that.
I feel like that was
I
a
won't
lie.
cross
You're lying to her right now because I saw you fucking somebody in the wife watching room. Because
not
I
saying
came in to
know,
check
I
out
know,
your
I'm
penis.
talking about when I tried to talk to the
I was like,
couple.
wait, how big is his dick? Is like a medium size? I could probably do that.
When I tried to talk to them as a couple, it was just like I walked up, I was just like, okay, they're not into this shit. And I
They
walked
were.
away.
Be here if we weren't into this.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We are into
A
this.
lot of
shit.
people.
There's a lot of couples here that's here right now that's, or like I walk
Why
into
are
a
you
couple.
paying the money to come to this?
Because,
That
hey,
makes
it'd be like
zero
this.
sense to me.
Because you're looking for another couple and y'all just want to have fun with the female. And I'll be like, okay, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because some couples just want other couples.
But
Go.
this, then go to another Naughty Nollins or some other like a lifestyle where like couples are the focus. To me, it's like this is a hot wife event, right? So the focus is the wife getting fucked. Like that's the like I get that there's couples and there's all different
But it's
type of
still
dynamics,
Splash Mocha.
but like to me, it's Splash Mocha.
The
It is
name-
catered
the name
to
holds weight.
wives.
The name holds weight.
Exactly.
When people hear Splash Mocha, they're like, oh yeah, I want to go.
Yeah.
Or it's just like if you want to go to Belize, you know what I'm saying? The name itself holds weight.
Yeah.
So when couples come to Splash Mocha, there's couples that just come to Splash Mocha just because they got the money and they don't care. They want to come to Splash Mocha.
And they can say they've been here, they can say, you know.
We went
that
to
this
Splash
is-
Mocha. We did that. We
Well,
met a
you know,
couple
right.
of couples.
And they it's maybe their first step as well into, especially with the interracial part of it, that this is, some areas it's hard to find that, if you're into it.
I never thought of it.
So they come and then kind of test the waters. How do I feel when a black man is talking to my wife? You know, and so, and you got to understand from a black male perspective, not that I am one, but I'm married to one as well, and that can be I don't know exactly who really is here that is going to be approachable or that I can approach, or if they're here to kind of use my energy for their own sexual stuff. Not actually my body and who I am, but just the threat of possibly fucking his wife.
And sometimes there are wives that are just coming to appease the husbands because the husbands really want them to go to Splash. I mean, we met a couple and they say they both want to be here, but she's also like, how much more do I have to walk around tonight? Wow. So you never know.
That's how I feel when I'm at
And
Cowboy.
even-
Like, how much longer do I have to walk around and wait for your
That
penis?
part, because I don't even know what's going on. But even with y'all though, y'all a couple, and y'all met a couple.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's easy for a couple to talk to a couple in real life.
Oh, when we first met, my wife wasn't there. My wife only stopped because she saw him. She didn't know what was going on. She saw him stop and was like,
I did not mean to be like so
She
pervy.
didn't know. She
That was
just
really
saw
hard.
him and she was like,
That
and I
was-
knew
that
it.
was probably
I know what my
a
wife
bad
like. She
example.
walked
We were
right
talking about
past,
Mr.
and I was
Mocha.
like, please don't hump his leg while his wife is berating him. It was, please don't look.
We just shook hands
She
for a
might
long
be-
time.
Yeah, we did.
It was a really long, like, it was like the Will Ferrell, like, Step Brothers at the end, like,
Yeah.
You started to apologize. I was like, I didn't even see because I was too busy going off on
she was
him.
like-
I got you. I got you. Y'all ain't got it. Hey, the rest of y'all vacation
Bet.
gonna be all outstanding. I'm telling you.
yeah.
I'm glad I came here, Mr. Mocha, man. I appreciate
you
the
coming in. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Mocha, you gotta end
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you guys coming in, listening, hanging out with us.
Yes.
Wife, can you hump his leg in the back of the room like a regular
I
person?
apologize.
We thought this was the wife watching room.
So we'll wrap the episode up. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And this right here, I'll tell you two things. When you go downstairs to hang out, do not hang out on the perimeter.
Okay.
The perimeter is the worst place to be.
Be in the
because-
middle, in the mix.
Yeah, the perimeter, people hang out on the perimeter who
Or watching.
aren't approachable or who are nervous.
Okay.
And so for you, if you're in the middle,
Remember.
also what happens is you tend to be in earshot of conversations, and people who want to talk to you can have an excuse to speak to you or an excuse to interact. A lot of times, you know, you'll hear a joke and then you can kind of gently move in there. But if you're on the outskirts, you're far away from everything, and people. So it's the small things, you know, body language. Obviously, this right here, which is something that I'm a terrible at. You know, I've had fighters tell me like, dude, you look like you're about to attack somebody. Like, no,
I'm just chilling.
just got my hands.
The
here.
arms are comfortable like
Yeah,
this.
they are.
Sometimes I like to put them on my boobs.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
You know,
I'm
sometimes
cold,
I like
so
to put them
yeah.
on her, but I just hold her titties.
Yeah.
That's
It's
how
a
it
good
goes.
time.
Yeah, see, me too. Me too. I just.
Yes.
Sorry. But besides that, if you do those small things, and then like this right here, you're open right now. You're not usually this open. If you take this energy out there, you're going to make friends. You're going to have people in your face. They're going to want to talk to you. They're going to play with you. You will get to that point where it's like, okay, there's too much dick coming at me, and you better not complain.
Like a dick voice.
Yeah. Would you say maybe you swimming in a sea of dicks?
Swimming in a sea of coffee.
Yep.
So until next time, thank you for joining us, and thank you for coming on to correct me and my poor behavior.
Absolutely.
And we will see you back soon.
Give it to you again, pulling your hair. Bring it over to this mirror so I can see your legs trembling. I got it so well, easily. That shit just like a pool, let me swim in it. And when we're all done, fall asleep with me.